because he's got some questions to answer. All right, let's get back to the Euros. Belgium taking on Romania in Group E, and we see Belgium getting their first win, their first point on the board, and taking all three today. Don called it, said it needed Yuri Tielemans in the side. He scored the opening goal, and then Kevin De Bruyne scored in the 80th minute. Lukaku had another goal ruled out for offside in this clash as well. We've got Nadem and Gab still with us. Gab, your boys Belgium, a deserved win for them today.
I think so. Look, you said that the game needed Yuri Tielemans. 100% agree. I think also the game did not need Yannick Carrasco, and sure enough, he made the changes at the back with Tate coming on. It was a much more sort of solid defensively, so it allowed the skill players to go out and really engage Romania without fear of getting caught out. And I think Tedesco was vindicated, and he needed to, because I didn't think that was a good performance in the first game. Much more solid tonight, and I think Romania just ran out of miracles.
Much more solid from KDB as well, Nadem, coming up big when they needed him.
Yeah, absolutely, it was. It was good to see. I think you could see from the very start of the game how focused he was, and the rest of the team were very much starting on the front foot, trying to deliver a message as early as possible. And I thought he was great throughout the game. Maybe this game kind of suited them more, given the way that Romania play. At times, offer them a bit too much space in transition as well. But I thought he had a great game. I thought he led by example. I thought he linked the front line really well. And as the guys were saying, like, this was the Tielemans game. I think his ability to drop deeper to start some of the attacks, but then also get forward and link the play there, as we saw with his goal. And this is a really good performance, and I think it was led by the captain, Kevin De Bruyne, today.
Great game, especially the first half. I mean, he had to make the changes, Tedesco, and I think he overcomplicated in the first game against Slovakia when he played Trossard on the left-hand side in Doku's favourite position, and Doku played on the right. Then the second half he switched. He made 4 changes today, and he put Doku on the left-hand side, and he terrorised the fullback. I mean, he had him on toast. He was amazing. Kevin De Bruyne looked fit. He looked sharp. That's the most important thing when you're watching De Bruyne. Yeah, he's a fit guy, but how sharp he is because of the injuries that he's had. He looked really sharp today. The one man I think who probably won't get a lot of credit, and I think he deserves it for the performance today, was Romelu Lukaku. Because when you're a midfield player like Doku on the left-hand side, of your Yuri Tielemans, the most important cog in that wheel is your number 9 to make the ball stick. It was like watching prime Lukaku at Inter, where he was pinning centre-backs. Great example for the first goal when Doku played it into his feet. He physically bullied the centre-backs. He laid it. Good way to pass to Tielemans. And he'd done that literally about 15 times in the first half. Physically very strong. So it was a really good performance. They needed it because they were under pressure, because it's a really tight group. But that was a big win and a really, really good performance.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Group E, and how things are shaping up after those first 2 rounds when it comes to the group stages, and looking at who will advance to the next stages. What's your thoughts on what we're seeing here, Gab? Because all of these teams with 3 points each.
Yeah, very much in the balance. I mean, I think you would expect, frankly, Belgium to get it done. I mean, I think it's. I think this has brought some stability, brought a realization that they can't take things for granted, and yeah, I'd expect Belgium to go through. No issues there.
What do you think about it, Nadem? Belgium going through with no problems, no issues?
Well, I would never say Belgium going through with no issues, because that tends to be what Belgium do anyway. But I think they do have the potential to do well in this next game, given the confidence boost from the performance today. So I think, as Don was saying as well, I thought Lukaku looked really good today. I thought that front line looked good. Obviously, at some point, the floor might be the way that they defend at times, because Romania did have some chances today. But when their firepower is working the way that it does, I would fancy them to beat anyone, not least of all in the final group game, to get themselves into the next round.
I think so. I think they play Ukraine last game. Yeah. Probably the 2 teams that played today. Romania have got Slovakia. Don't say that with any confidence, because that could be tight, could be nervy. But I think the way Belgium played today, I think especially for their fans, and I think for Tedesco, the manager, that's how Belgium should play. Because some teams, even when you see great players on paper, if you're not playing with intensity and it's slow and the passing's a bit slow and pedestrian, you don't go too far. When you get a side like, we talk about the good sides like Germany and Spain, but when you get a side like Belgium, it's not the star-studded Belgium that we've seen over the years, but they played with real intensity today. And the reason why I call for Tielemans to be in, because I like Mangal, I think he's a good player. I like Anana at Everton, good player, but they're very similar. very box to box. They've got good legs. They've got good engines. They can win the ball back. But when you're playing a team like they play today, you need creativity. And Youri Tielemans plays the game. He's always looking for a pass forward. He's looking to always try and get in the box. So he's very creative. And when you add him in good form with Lukaku, who played well today, another player that was brought in today, and Jeremy Doku, who was razor sharp, and Lukaku and Bruyne, you've got the basics there of a really good team.
Yeah, and more games to come when it comes to Euros. We head back to Group A tomorrow, where we will see the host Germany back in action as well. Obviously, they are already through. So how does this final round of group games play out? Don, that is the question. Have Scotland got a chance here?
We have got a chance. So much better in the last game against Switzerland. I mean, rabbit in the headlights, I think, against Germany on match day one, opening up the tournament. I expected a bit more. Listen, I didn't expect Scotland to beat Germany. I thought we'd lose, but I thought it'd be narrow. To take a 5 hammering must have been damaging for morale. So to respond against Switzerland was good, but now they've got to go and beat Hungary. Yes, they've got a massive chance.
A massive chance. Has he been overly optimistic, Nadem? Who do you see going through with Germany?
I think, firstly, there's the head-to-head. So with the draw between Scotland and Switzerland, that's flat. But then it comes down to goal difference. So to finish second, I think it needs to be quite a big overhaul. I personally don't see that, but I think the route to best third place team, I think that's definitely on the cards. And wouldn't you just love it if, say, Scotland won and then they're actively rooting for England to beat Slovenia the next day? Because that's what all Scots want to do, isn't it? You know, so I think they do have a good chance, but they'll have to pull the finger out for sure.
Gab?
Yeah, no, I think Switzerland are probably in the driver's seat for this one. I'll be really interesting to see as well, you know, what changes Nagelsmann makes, because obviously, yeah, they're through, but they want to win the group. And, you know, you look at the table, you don't want to slip up in this game and then finish second, and then you end up on the wrong side of the draw, the side of the draw that will likely have France, will likely have England. And yet, by the same token, they are through. Toni Kroos and Gundogan not getting any younger. So I'll be really curious to see if he freshens it up a little bit, you know, given that he played the same 11 and left them out there for a long time in both of the first two games.
He makes a great point, Gab, you know. Makes a great point, because it gives you an indication when you're trying to second guess, when the four of us are second guessing what Nagelsmann's going to do, and you're trying to get into his brain what he's thinking. Does he want to have 9 points on the board? Does he want to go and play his strongest team? Does he want to go and make a statement where Germany are unbeaten, 3 wins and 3? Or does he think of the bigger picture and he thinks Emre Can might have to come in for Gundogan or Toni Kroos? Or does he think Füllkrug might come in for Kai Havertz? So does he sort of play the bigger picture game or bigger picture card where he can get some players in, rest a couple of the old guys, Gab or Nadem, and then try and go that way where you're getting a good harmony? Or do you go all out for 9?
No, I think there's a lot of considerations like that. Wirtz and Havertz weren't great in the last game. Andrich in midfield. You mentioned Emre Can there. Andrich is booking away from a suspension as well. So he's got all these things to think about. He can tell himself, well, you know, a draw against Switzerland and we top the group, nothing to worry about. But by the same token, you know, you can't really see Nagelsmann or Germany at home kind of playing for the draw.